Okay, I don't know what's going on, but it wouldn't load my thumbnail for some stupid reason, but it let me live. So I don't know what's happening right at the moment. Um, but here's the thing. I was trying to do a blog on relationships because relationships are so hard in this world. I know that a lot of people have problems with relationships and they don't know why are they so hard? Why sometimes is having and keeping a relationship so hard? Well, the thing is this world that we live in just sometimes makes it rough. Hey, Natalie, how's it going, girly? Um, so it just kind of things are rough. So we have to work hard to keep the relationships going. And sometimes people feel like they don't want to be what they call a relationship chaser. So then they feel like they want to be careful about how much they go after somebody or talk to somebody and things like that. When you're not a relationship chaser, if you are keeping in touch with somebody 2 to 3 times a week, that you're keeping up with their social media sites and things like that, that is not a relationship chaser. A relationship chaser is somebody who constantly bugs you every single day, nonstop, won't leave you alone. You don't message them right back. They're calling you, they're messaging you like every 5 seconds, trying to get your attention. That is a relationship chaser. But the reason relationships are so hard is just because we all come from different backgrounds. If you are like me and you like to have a diverse amount of friends from different, um, cultures and things like that, in which I love to have friends from all walks of life. And it can be rough because, you don't understand sometimes the cultural differences and the things that are okay and things that are not okay. It takes a while to learn that. You can't just automatically pick it up like that. You come from this background. I come from this background. This is how the values I was raised on. This is the values you were raised on. The thing is, you got to learn how to come together in those relationships and those friendships and learn how to respect each other's values, their opinions, their culture, and things like that. And sometimes it takes a minute to get onto that because you don't learn overnight everything about a person. To keep relations, that's the reason why a lot of times relationships are hard. So whether it's a friendship or whether it's a marriage, you're going to go from different backgrounds and it just takes time. You're not going to agree on everything. But you can make relationships last. You can make them continue to keep going. And the big thing about relationships is great communication. If you don't have good communication, you don't have a good relationship. It's just a given. You're not going to have a very good relationship with somebody if you don't talk to them very often. So let's say, for example, I've had this happen to me, and this person and I were extremely close for a long time. I would go visit them 2 or 3 times, a year and spend time with them, the weekend with them, and we would have so much fun together and really enjoy each other's company. But just because of life and circumstances, we grew apart. It doesn't mean I don't think about that person. I think about her all the time. I think she's a sweetheart. She's one of the nicest people you'll know. But at the same time, it's just life changed for us. So you have to keep those relationships going, and how you keep them going is good communication. What happened was I write the person, okay, still social media wasn't super, super, super big. It was getting towards, big, and I gotta quit saying word whiskers for you guys. But I would email her, and then I was like, okay, they're busy, no big deal. A week would go by, wouldn't hear anything. Email them again. And I just tell them, this is what's going on in my week. This is how things have been going. So and so is doing well. Friends, mutual friends that we shared, I tell them how they were doing, blah, blah, blah. That kind of email, just, catching up. A lot of times we can catch up with somebody when they get a chance, they write you back, correct? Well, this person was not writing me back. So next week I do the same thing. I got tired of it. And so here's what I did was because I was trying to figure out what was going on. Maybe they just didn't want to talk to me anymore. I didn't know. Turned out they didn't. So that's when you stop, That's how you are different from relationship chaser to being a relationship chaser, trying to make communication with somebody, but they're not responding. And you give them a week or two and they still don't respond. Then you know that they're no longer wanting to be friends with you, just point blank. Because what happened was, after a month of trying to write this email to this person over and over and over again, trying to see how they were doing and asking them how they were doing and not getting a response from them, I finally wrote one of their a mutual friend that I knew she was also close to, and I said, "Hey, I wrote umpteen emails to this person. I'm getting really worried because they always respond back to me. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 days, but I get a response back." You know what? That very same day that I wrote her the email, and she says, "I will check on them," they got an email back. They wrote me back and said, "Yes, they're doing fine. They're just really busy." Hello? Why didn't that person write me and say, "Hi, I'm doing good. It's just, I'm sorry I'm not writing you right now. I'm just really super busy. I'll write you when I have time." That's all it would have taken. You know how long that would have taken? 30 seconds to type that out and hit send. 30 seconds. They didn't even want to do that. Communication. Communication, communication, communication. Cannot stress them enough. So if you are friends with somebody and you write them private message, direct message on Facebook, text them because you have their cell phone number, and they don't write you back. Okay, 1-2 days, they're busy. Let me try again. Still don't get a response. Week later, not one word out of them. Next thing you know, you go outside of your friendship circle trying to find somebody that also knows this friend, because nobody in your friendship circle that they're supposedly really close friends with will talk to them. Won't talk to any of their close friends that's been writing them. So it's pretty bad when you have to go out of your friendship circle or your close knit friends and get somebody else to write them to get a response back. That should never happen. A good friend would never do that to you. A good friend that cares about your relationship and cares anything about you will keep in contact. Yes, I do understand sometimes there's times where friends go for long times without speaking to each other. And that is because they've grown apart they move states and states and states away. And they have a completely different life. Maybe they're married, have children, who knows what the situation may be. And you just, all of a sudden, you think about that person and you write them. And you know what happens? Immediately you get something back from them. That is a friendship, a long distance friendship that is still lasting. Because why? Communication. So here's the thing about relationships. You cannot have a good relationship if you have no communication. And this world that we live in is keeping us so busy that sometimes we think in our head, okay, I got to write this person. I need to say something to them. And then you don't. And I got to write this person. I need to say something to them because they wrote me. And then you don't. And guess what ends up happening? You don't keep this relationship going, because eventually that person's going to get tired of writing you and tired of going, okay, they seen my thing and could tell, because, like Facebook, a lot of these social media sites, it says, okay, they read it. They seen it. I see their picture next to it. So I know they seen what I wrote, but they're not even saying hi. They're not even saying, I'm sorry, I've been busy. That's why I haven't wrote you back. Nothing. So that makes you start worrying about that person. Like, do they really care about my friendship with them? Do they care about me? Is there something really bad happening in their life to where they're not able to respond to me? There could be a number of reasons why that friend is not writing at the time. But when you have really good friends, they stay in good communication with you. And as soon as they realize they should have wrote you and they haven't, the first thing they're doing is, I am so sorry I have not gotten back to you, but XYZ has been happening and I still love you. I still think you're a great person. Please forgive me for not taking the time to write you the way I should. It's just I've been super busy. It's really important that you at least write 5 words. 5 words. Sorry, I haven't got back to you. I'm super busy right now. Boom. That's all you have to say. Then the other friend that's been trying to get hold of you is going to say, it's okay. I understand. I just want to make sure just need to know you're all right. They hear from you. They know you're okay. And they also know that you still care about them as a friend, because you took that 30 seconds to write out 5 words. I'm sorry I haven't got back to you. Just been super busy. I got a lot going on right now. And then they'll calm down. They'll know you still care about being friends with them, that you just been having a rough time. So it's really interesting sometimes to me to see how friendships can grow even with long distances, because there's good communication still. There's still that, hey, how's it going? I missed you. What have you been up to? Blah, blah, blah. And then you have the others where you write them and then boom, nothing. You write them and then boom, nothing. Well, guess where the friendship is going? One went up, they get tired of trying. It's over. Relationship is bye bye. So the thing is there's also these, how do you keep good relationships is just making sure you keep the communication lines open and staying in touch with them. Even if it's just checking out their social media, liking their, liking their post, putting a short comment on their post, letting them know, hey, yeah, I see you're doing okay. Been missing you, but hey, I'm still here. I still want to be friends with you. I still like seeing your stuff, seeing how you're doing. That's how you keep good friendships. Checking on them. When somebody checks on you, write them back. Make sure you write them back, even if it's a very short message. And there is so many good friendships out there. There's friends that stick closer than brothers. Those are the friends that you hold on to, because when you go through really hard times and storms in your life, sometimes maybe you're not hearing a lot from them, but then all of a sudden they hear that something really bad has happened in your family, or there's been a natural disaster in your area, whatever it may be. And next thing you know, boom, they're writing you nuts up. How are you doing? I'm so sorry, I heard about such and such, and are you okay? Can I do anything for you? Blah blah blah. That is a good friend. Those are the friends you want to keep, and you want to keep close, because those are the ones that are good for you. And relationships are hard even with marriage. And why? Marriage is a full-time job, people. And people do not realize that. You do not want to get into a marriage relationship or become committed to somebody until you know you can get along with them. You have good communication. You enjoy spending time with them. And things like that. And then you're ready to have a real serious relationship with them. You don't want to get in a relationship with somebody and you don't enjoy their company. If you don't enjoy their company, no. Because here's the thing. When you get married, you are trying to learn each other. You come from this background, they come from this background, and I don't care if it's the same culture. You still are raised in different ways, so you have different ideas. For example, okay, my husband was raised that don't worry about finishing your food on your plate. It's okay. Don't finish your food on your plate, throw it away. I was raised, you better eat every bite of that, and you won't get any dessert, and you won't get up from the table and play or do anything else until every bite of that food is off of your plate. So I was raised, finish your food. He was raised, throw it away. I was raised, you eat leftovers. He was raised, throw them away. We don't eat leftovers. That's just an example. So it's like you come from different cultures. We have different temperaments. I was raised, if you get really, I have a hot temper. I'm not afraid to admit that. When I finally get to my boiling point, you want to run and hide. And let's just put it that way, because if you don't, I will explode on you. So my thing is I learned with my temperament, I have to walk away. And it's okay to walk away. And it doesn't mean I'm not wanting to settle the disagreement. My walking away is, let me go in a room and cool off before I beat the snot out of you. That's why I walk away. So I go in the other room and de-stress, calm down, relax, and then I'm ready to come back out and say, okay, let's sit down and talk about this like adults. He was raised, no, I don't care if I'm screaming and yelling at you. We're settling it this very second, right now. It caused more fights with us at the beginning of our relationship because he didn't get that. He would not let me calm down. He wouldn't let me cool down. So marriage is a full-time job because you have to learn each other. You have to learn how to handle each other. It wasn't until it really sunk in with him that I need a cool down period before I can really talk the situation out so that we can get it settled and get along, and be happy again. That things started getting better with our disagreements. So it's just life. You come from different backgrounds. That's what makes relationships so hard. You have to work at it. You have to really, really want to be with that person. You have to really want I want that guy right there. I think would be a great friend. This girl right here, I think she'd be an awesome friend. That person there, I would like to marry. Let me think about that. You need to communicate. You need to learn each other. You need to learn to respect each other's feelings, each other's opinions. Why are they doing this way? Why are they acting that way? You have to work hard at it. You have to learn each other. You have to learn to have respect for each other. You have to learn what works for them and what doesn't work for them, so that you can have a happy relationship, happy friendship, happy marriage, happy life together in one way or another. Because everybody is so different. Everybody settles arguments differently. Some people I think these are the funniest ones, but there are people out there that don't like that. I don't know how I would handle that, because I've always been the type of person that I have to talk things out once I cool down. But I do know that there's people that how they settle their disagreements is they stop talking to each other for an hour or two, and then all of a sudden they just start talking, not even about the thing they were disagreeing on, just start talking. And it's kind of like I'm sitting here going, don't know what to think about this, because no. You need to talk about what you were disagreeing about, because if you don't, that subject comes up again in the future and you both are still butting heads on it, it's going to turn into an explosion. But some people, that's how they get over disagreements, so it's kind of, that's just what the point I'm trying to get across is, you can make relationships work and you can make them last. The important thing is you have to love each other. You have to learn to respect each other, whether it's just a friendship or you want it to be more of an intimate relationship, like a husband and wife. And you have to work at it. And you're always learning each other, because as time passes, you have different hurdles in life that you have to overcome. We have good things and bad things that happen in life, and they change you just by a little bit. And sometimes it's not even a lot, but it's enough that sometimes you have to readjust the way you act with the people, with that person, because, it's changed them. Sometimes they don't even realize they personally have changed, but it's changed them. When you go through hardships, it does change you, whether you want it to. And hopefully in the end, it turns them around and changes them into a better person. But sometimes it don't. And sometimes they just need more understanding and more love. So you always are working on your relationship. I don't know, it doesn't matter how long you've been friends or in a marriage. It just never ends. You never stop having to work on it, because you're always going to have something that's going to happen that's going to change your relationship in some way, or you're going to have a difference of opinion on it. And it was something that's never been addressed that strongly before. And then you're like, whoa, I never thought we would disagree on this. So it's hard. So you have to really work at it, and you have to really want it bad enough. And you have to be willing to learn to disagree on some things and be okay with disagreeing on certain things, and still allowing that person to be themselves, even though you don't agree with it. I'm always the type of person, I'm very open. I'm a very strong Christian. But I'm open to other people that I work with. I try to have good work friendships and good relationships with people. And I try really hard not to do things that I feel would, be disrespectful to them and how they feel and believe. But at the same time, I expect them to do the same for me. And when you have that kind of relationship, you can be friends with just about anybody. You just need to learn to kind of relax and learn where they're coming from. And the best way to do that is to become a good listener. Be a good communicator, but be a good listener. Sometimes they say their actions and their speech will teach you more about them than anything else. And then you can really learn how to make a good friendship, a good husband and wife relationship, a good situation. But when it comes to marriage, friendships is different. You can have all kinds of differences and still be friends, but just not be super close friends, but still be friends. But when it comes to a marriage relationship, you better have a lot in common. You better like being around that person. And the other thing is don't expect to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend if you don't communicate. If there's a girl or a guy out there that you like, better believe me when I tell you, if they show any interest in you at all, they text you, they private message you on Facebook or through any other social media account, you bet, I would tell you for my experience, or for any girl's experience, or any guy's experience, and I bet you guys out there will agree with me. You better be getting a text back. So if they don't receive anything from you, like I had a problem with my husband when we were dating, not communicating well with me. One time, turns out he was working overtime and he was really bad sick with a cold. So as soon as he was getting off from his 12, 14-hour shifts, he was going home, going straight to bed. That's why he wasn't answering my phone calls. I didn't know that. He wasn't writing me. He wasn't calling me and saying, hi, I really want to talk to you. But I worked 14 hours. I'm exhausted and I got this horrible cold. I just need to go to bed. I'll talk to you later. If he would have just done that, I've been fine. It blew up into a big, huge argument. So our very first argument was because I was doing all the communicating and was getting nothing back. Do you see where I'm coming from? You can't do that. If there's somebody you like and you're interested in and they look like they're showing some interest in you, you better be paying attention to them when they're messaging you, when they're commenting, when they're doing things. Otherwise, this wall is going to go up because they're eventually going to get tired of it being a one-sided relationship. I'll say that again. They're going to get tired of a one-sided relationship. So if you want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you eventually want to be married, I don't care how busy you are, how tough things in life are for you right now. You better be taking 2 minutes to at least answer them. Even if it's a, hi, I've been really, really busy, but it's really good to hear from you. Boom. Simple as that. They know you still care about them. You know you're thinking about them. You've acknowledged that they're writing them. That's all it takes. Okay? So, communication and making sure that you're not annoying them or giving them the sense that you're annoying them. Because you will never have a boyfriend or girlfriend. You will never have a husband or wife if that's the way you treat your relationships. Point blank. It's just never going to happen. You might as well just give up on it and resign yourself to being single for the rest of your life, because that's exactly what you're going to be. So there is my advice on why relationships are so hard and what you can do to make them better. So take my advice, make sure you're communicating, and make sure that you are open and willing to learn about them enough that you know how to get along with them and work out any disagreements that you have. Those are the ways you keep a relationship going. Yes, it is hard work because that means you have to take time out of, no matter if you have 10,000 things going at once, to take time to write that person. But I guarantee you, if you take that time to just write them, like I said, just 5 words even, that person will probably have a nice little smile on their face and know, okay, they're just really busy, but at least I know that they cared enough to take time out of their 10,000 things they had going that day to let me know that they got my message. And they're letting me know they care about me somewhat, or else they wouldn't have taken the time to write me. So that's how you do it. That's how you get a good relationship. And you never stop working on it. Never. Ever. Time that you drop your communication, time that you start not showing attention to that person, or in some way making that person feel like you don't want them around anymore, like you're trying to push them away by your actions, your speech, your attitude, the wall will go up and your relationship will go away. So you have to work hard on it. And that's why relationships can be so hard. So I'm hoping that this stays and everybody gets to see this, because YouTube's being a little weird today. For some reason, it wouldn't say my thumbnail, but it'll let me go live. So anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I hope that, you think about these things and get to work. Make those relationships last. Because you know what? We all need friends. We all need somebody in our life we know we can count on. So make sure that you make yourself be that friend. Be that friend. Be that friend that's always there for people. Be that friend that never drops communication. Be that friend that is always checking on your friends. You haven't heard somebody from somebody in a long time. You haven't seen them around. Whether it's, somebody you work with a lot, just write them a note. Say, hey, I was thinking about you today. I don't care if they are married, you got somebody else, and you just want to be friends with that person. Don't make yourself feel uncomfortable to write people. Ever. Ever. Because that, one thing that makes me smile and always makes my day is when I get a message or a comment on one of my posts on my Facebook, letting me know that somebody's thinking about me or that they care about me, or they're like, you know what, I haven't worked with you in forever. How have you been doing? Or I really miss working with you, or just anything. All you have to do is drop one line and let somebody know that you're thinking about them. And you don't know, maybe that person has been really down on themselves lately, or even depressed and down on themselves that day. And that one line message saying, hey, I haven't seen you forever, I hope you're doing okay, will turn their whole world upside down, and at least let them know that somebody cared enough to write them. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check me out on Facebook.